The year is winding down, but the world of sports, of course, is cranking up. Welcome to another episode of From the Press Box with your favorite host. I'm Lauren Fluker alongside Jamal Williams.
Let's start with some WNBA news. The Indiana Fever claimed their first championship title with an 87-78 win over the Minnesota Lynx, winning the series 3-1.
That's right, the Fever took out defending champs, much to the credit of Tamika Catchings. Catchings was the MVP of the finals, averaging 24.8 points in the series.
Well, now that she's won a WNBA title, she has a title at the collegiate, pro, and Olympic level.
That is impressive.
Perfect trifecta.
It is. And that's quite a resume booster for Catchings. And on the subject of resumes, players from both the Detroit Tigers and the San Francisco Giants can add division champs to their resumes on their way to the 2012 World Series.
The Tigers won easily, sweeping the Yankees 4-0. And in the National League, the Giants had to come from behind to win the last 3 games against the Cardinals after trailing in the series 3-1.
If the Tigers win the World Series, it will be their 5th World Series title overall and the first since 1984. For the Giants, this will be their 2nd title since moving to San Francisco after winning it all in 2010.
So, Lauren, who are you taking in the World Series?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers. You know, it's been a big year for Miguel Cabrera and then Justin Verlander. That guy's a beast.
I have to admit, he's good, and they have a very talented team. But I'm going with the Giants. But we'll talk more about that and hurry up coming up.
Yes.
NASCAR's most popular guy, Dale Earnhardt Jr., is set to return to the Sprint Cup.
Earnhardt missed the past 2 races at Charlotte and Kansas after experiencing symptoms of a concussion.
The much-anticipated rivalry between the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks will be lacking some firepower early on in the season.
And this is because Knicks forward Amari Stoudemire will be sidelined for 2 to 3 weeks with a ruptured cyst behind his left knee.
To the dismay of Knicks fans, Stoudemire will miss the start of the regular season, which is set to begin October 30th.
And Knicks head coach Mike Woodson says Stoudemire is, quote, frustrated.
There is good news in New York, however. The $1 billion Barclays Center, home of the Brooklyn Nets, will now host World Championship Boxing.
Boxing returns to Brooklyn after an 81-year hiatus. The first headline fight features Philadelphia welterweight title holder Danny Garcia in a rematch against Mexican-born Eric Morales.
After the break, we'll talk about will Lance Armstrong become a lost legend. We'll have that coming up next. Stay tuned.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Lance Armstrong is a man of many titles. Armstrong is a father, a son, an author, a philanthropist, and an American legend in the sport of cycling. In the year 1990, Armstrong joined the U.S. Olympic Cycling Development Squad in high school. By 1992, Armstrong competed in his first Olympic race in the Barcelona Games. A young Armstrong would finish last and contemplate quitting the sport. But as fate would have it, persistence paid off and Armstrong was named top cyclist in the world the following year. But sometimes with triumphs, there are roadblocks, and for Armstrong, it was cancer. Stage 3 testicular cancer that spread to his brain and his lungs. The next year, the Lance Armstrong Foundation was established to benefit cancer research. In 1999, Armstrong made history, becoming the first American to win a Tour de France title, and 6 would follow, making him the winningest cyclist in history. But was he? Allegations surfaced about his use of performance-enhancing drugs, but Armstrong denied those claims.
Is there evidence? Where's evidence of doping here?
Earlier this year, allegations resurfaced, but this time they were vicious. Former teammates spoke out against Armstrong's innocence, alleging that he did in fact use performance-enhancing drugs while competing.
I saw it in his refrigerator, I saw him inject it more than one time.
The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency enforced strict penalties, including the loss of his 7 Tour de France titles and his ability to ever compete. Still, Armstrong maintained his innocence, but lost sponsorship from Nike, Anheuser-Busch, 24 Hour Fitness, Radio Shack, and others. Now, Lance is a man of persistence who has shown great dignity in his time of trial, but questions have been posed about his decisions. Why didn't Lance fight the USADA ruling? Why didn't he come forth to address the controversy surrounding him? Why would he step down as an executive of his own foundation? So whether you believe Armstrong is guilty or not, the work he's done for cancer research is indisputable. It makes him a hero, helping to save lives around the world. While his work with cancer has been reputable, the media has painted a picture of a man without integrity or honesty, a cheater. One thing is for certain, Armstrong is an icon, a fallen hero. And we at FTP would love to hear what you think. Tweet us at FTP_tweets to let us know your opinion on the subject. Stay tuned.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to From the Press Box. All season long, I've been hearing about this Oregon offense and this Alabama defense. Well, I'm here to give you your blueprint to success against both of them. Now, obviously, we're going to start with the Oregon offense, as they're very talented and they put up so many points, and they can do this against any team in the country. Well, according to my blueprint here, the first step is your offense has to control the clock. If you can keep their offense off of the field, they can't be successful. You can't score when you're not on the field. Let's keep it simple here. All right, so they are going to get onto the field. So when they're on the field, what do you do now? You have to contain their quarterback. Make him pass the ball. If you can make their quarterback throw the ball, there's the possibility that he will throw an errant pass. He's done this in the past. He has 5 interceptions at this point this season already. You can get interceptions, and if you can capitalize on turnovers against this team, you can beat them. This offense is going to get their points when they're on the field, but if you can keep them off and you can capitalize on turnovers, you can beat them. So let's transfer over here to the Alabama defense. This is a very physically sound defense. They're well coached. They're going to do everything that you're supposed to do. If their corner has inside leverage, his job is not to get beat to the outside. If the defensive end has outside leverage, his job is not to get hooked inside. They post one of the best front sevens in college football. Let's look at Jesse Williams and C.J. Mosley, 2 top players in the country, both on this defense. What are you going to do against this defense, you're asking? Well, my blueprint says you can beat them in the vertical passing game. Now, can your team hold up that front 7 long enough to get your quarterback to have a receiver open down the field? That's a question mark you have to ask yourself. Do you have the personnel to pull that off? Because that's an area that they're susceptible to be beat. Yes, they do have good safeties that play their responsibilities very well, but you can make them make a mistake. And when they make a mistake on defense, which are very few, you have to make them pay. Now, let's look at your offense as well. You have to win the turnover battle. This is a defense that is adept at forcing turnovers. Can you control the ball and not give it back to them? You have to win the turnover rate. If they win, you will lose. Now, my blueprint gives you a couple of ideas of things you need to do against this high-powered offense and this physical defense. But that does not mean that just because you do them, you will be successful. If you follow them, you can still lose. You have to have the talent. When we come back, Lauren Fluker will join me here for Hurry Up Offense. Stay tuned.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back to From the Press Box and into Hurry Up Offense. It's time to get started. So, Jamal, question number 1.
Okay.
Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson has faced quarterbacks like Romo, Rodgers, and Brady, and he's done good. But will he live up to this hype?
I think he's a good quarterback. He's very solid. I think he was a couple of inches away of being a first-round quarterback in this year's draft, maybe one of the top. But do I think this hype that he's being built up with right now is deserved? No. He was put into a place with a team that is playoff ready now.
Exactly.
He has the number 5 defense. Let's look at him against Green Bay. He had a 47.6 completion rating. Clearly, this team is not winning because of just his stellar play. Yes, he's making plays with his arm and his feet as well, but it's not just him. This is a team that's very reliant on that defense.
Yes, and I've got an interesting take on it, actually. I think he's doing pretty good. You know, of the 5 rookie quarterbacks that we saw go this year, I think he's the most successful. He has the best record. If you look at
RG3?
Wheaton, listen, just hear me out.
Okay.
As far as records go, we're not talking about athletic ability because obviously RG3 went higher. I mean, that's just obvious. But if you look at Wheaton, he's 1-6 in Cleveland. If you look at Tannehill, he's 3-3 in Miami. If you look at Luck, he's 3-3 in Indianapolis. And then RG3 is 3-4. So RG3, of course, is closer. But again, Russell Wilson is doing the best out of all 5 rookie quarterbacks. He's got good hype now, but I'd love to see him in the postseason.
So you think Russell Wilson's playing better than RG3 at this
I
point
just
in time?
said that in terms of athletic ability, maybe not, but the record shows otherwise.
Okay, you're right. Wins mean a lot. All right, next question. Brandon Marshall had some things to say about Ndamukong Suh's hit on Jay Cutler. Do you think the hit was legal or illegal?
You know, Sue has always had a problem minding his manners on the field. So that's first of all. We saw that last season when he took number 62, the guard for the Packers. He slammed his helmet in the ground repeatedly and then got up and stomped him. So we know that he's got this aggressiveness about him. Now, the hit was legal. And it reminded me of that old school play, you know, that tough, rough hitting. So I think it was a legal hit, and it was okay. And then Brandon Marshall, his comment, that it was, quote, not cool. I think Sue's just an unapologetic player. It's just what he is.
I think the hit was perfectly fine. They're playing football, not patty cake.
Yes.
What'd you want him to do?
Yes.
Tag your it? No, he had to tackle him. Jay Cutler ran away, so he pulled him back and he fell on him.
Yeah, but it was vicious. You've got to admit. You've got to admit.
Hey, Jay Cutler ran away. He had to get him some way. That's his job. If he doesn't make that play, then the coach is in his ear on the sideline. And let's look at it this way. Jay Cutler's down on the ground. Yeah, everybody feels bad that he's hurt. And Ndamukong Suh was the first player to come over and take a knee next to him and check on and see if he was okay. He saw he was okay, and he went back to the defensive bus and said, oh, well.
Lions and Bears, oh my. Okay, third question. Now, Roger Goodell is considering eliminating the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
What's your take?
I couldn't agree more. Get rid of the game. The only part, the players don't take the game seriously. The only part of the Pro Bowl that was worthwhile, and it's gone already, is the skills competition. Let's look at it this way. I remember watching the fastest man competition, and Darryl Green at 40, burning these 20-year-old guys, running a 4.42. Seriously. That was a spot where players could show off their athletic ability, throw the ball the farthest, bench press, those sprints. The game's always been a joke. It's just, you know, they let fans vote for plays and things of that nature. Oh, hey, go run this. They don't take it seriously. Brian Moorman, he was almost killed one time by Sean Taylor, so why?
Yeah, it's
Risk
definitely
injury.
a risk factor there.
Yes.
But I think there is a lack of competition, which was the commissioner's main concern. And, you know, we see that in preseason games, too, because fans pay all that money to go see them, and it's no competition, really, and that's the same thing.
I mean, it's competition for the guys trying to make the roster.
Yes, that's true. But I think what Roger Goodell is doing is changing this NFL to a new meaning. It no longer means National Football League. It means No Fun League. That's what it is. He's eliminating everything. You know, he's fining people for this and that, and now you're taking away the Pro Bowl. No.
I think you can have fun in the league. I just don't think that risking injury is fun. Like, that's all I see that game as. It's going to take one day that Tom Brady is going to drop back and a guy's just going to hit him and he's going to blow out his leg or something. A guy of that nature is going to get hurt in a career-changing injury in that game, and then they'll say, I wish we would have got rid of it.
Well, maybe he should consider changing it from before Super Bowl to post-Super Bowl. Maybe that.
Well, it used to be post-Super Bowl, but that format didn't work either. People weren't watching.
Yeah.
Well, they'd watch the skills competition, but that was the day before. So.
Hey.
Okay, last question. We mentioned this early in the show, World Series picks. Who are you taking?
You already know, Detroit. Okay, Detroit is second in the AL for ERAs, and they're first in the AL for strikeouts, and that is in large part due to Justin Verlander. He's the Tigers' moneymaker. He averaged 239 strikeouts last season. Both teams can hit, but I think it's going to be a matter of their pitching, so I'm going to go with the Tigers.
Okay, Now, I saw a trend develop this postseason. The Yankees and the Orioles were the only two teams that led with the 2-game homestand to lose that series. I'm looking for that trend to continue, and the San Francisco Giants are going to take this. I'm telling you, look, they won 6 games when facing elimination. They have momentum heading in. Their adrenaline's rushing. They're going to take these games early, and they're coming out to play. You got to think, they just had to go to the limit to beat St. Louis.
Yeah.
They're ready to play, as opposed to the Tigers, who had that time off after taking out the Yankees, who were in all kinds of turmoil. So I don't really take that seriously. And then let's look at it this way. The San Francisco Giants are averaging 4.42 points per game this postseason, compared to the Tigers only 4.
No.
They're the hotter team coming in.
No. The Tigers are definitely on the prowl. You will see that. Just mark my words. But that concludes this episode of From the Press Box. Remember, you can like us on Facebook. You can hit us up on Twitter at FTP_tweets. And you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/FromThePressBox. Again, I'm Lauren Fluker.
And I'm Jamal Williams.
And this is From the Press Box.
So the Tigers?
Of
really?
course. Really? Is that what we're doing? You'll see.
No.
You'll see. Did you not see my boy Miguel Cabrera? Did you not see that? Triple
The
Browns?
Giants will be holding the Commissioner's Trophy.